Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Tyrone back with Tech Life, and this will be the recap video to AT&T announcing their earnings call this morning. I did make a brief video on it this morning, but then I jumped on their earnings call, and then I watched the remainder of the interviews that launched after the earnings call. So now I wanted to do the recap. So not too long ago, I made a video titled "Don't Count Out AT&T," and I meant just that. I do have insight on this, so I knew the numbers just a couple of days before they reported them. I kind of had some insight of what the numbers looked like on a preliminary basis. So I knew there was growth coming for AT&T, and AT&T really has three core growth vectors. It's HBO Max, it's wireless, and it's fiber. With wireless, of course, leading the way in the main growth. It's their biggest revenue and money maker in the entire company. Everything else at this point is so low that it's all upside when it does grow. So HBO Max is all upside domestically and globally, and fiber as well. As they extend and expand the reach of the fiber, it's all upside. So again, ARPU is down a little, but volume is much higher than it used to be in terms of growth. This is arguably, apparently, the biggest Q1 in the last 10 years from AT&T. So they have momentum, and that momentum is already continuing into Q2. Could I make a future prediction how that looks at the end of the year or next year? No. Is that maybe why the stock necessarily hasn't gone up too high? Maybe. Maybe some are anticipating that AT&T can't sustain this growth as the market gets more competitive. But they have shown, I would say since last year, that they are able to grow, that they're willing to grow, and that there's a positive to gain from this growth. You know, I say it all the time. If you just have customers come into your burger place and they just buy that $15 burger, that's good and all, but it becomes stagnant. You want the customer that comes in that buys your fries, that buys your shake, and that will help you grow your business. And that's kind of how AT&T is looking at it. They're like, okay, yeah, we'll pay a little for the cost to acquire the customer, but we're not only going to just sell them wireless, we're going to sell them our fiber, and we're going to sell them our HBO Max. And TV potentially too, although they don't really report that anymore since it's, they sold it off. But they still make revenue from that TV, so it is still in their best interest to push that TV portion into the market. So my takeaway from this quarter, and I won't make this video too long because they were pretty straightforward. Their presentation on the earnings call was like 14 minutes. They had a couple of slides, and that was it. So my takeaway from this, they have momentum. They're investing in the right business segments where it's needed and what's important to them. So yes, the $22 billion that they are expected to spend this year is not all going towards wireless. That is completely understood on my part. So there's, some of that is going to fiber, some of that is going to Warner Media, and then some of that will go to wireless. But it seems they spend it effectively and efficiently. So if fiber's growing, they continue to invest in that. And that's growing, and it's showing on the books. It's making the money. It's almost, I believe, a $54 ARPU. So HBO Max is growing. They're investing in that. That's almost a $12 ARPU now. And that's going to continue to accelerate throughout the year, big time. And then there's wireless. We got C-BAND coming. I've got a brief preview of that plan. That's going to accelerate very quickly. So they're investing in terms of what they believe is the future of the business, which are those three core businesses: HBO Max, wireless, fiber. The non-core assets, if it doesn't drive profit or they can't restructure, they will sell it off. They no longer need it. It doesn't benefit. They will sell it off and they will pay down debt. They have large debt. So they just added $169 billion dollars back on the balance sheet in debt due to that C-band purchase. It just made its way onto the balance sheet in Q1. They did hint briefly, indirectly, that they are interested in more spectrum. So be looking forward to AT&T to get into more debt come auction 110. They're looking to get more of that spectrum. They need roughly another, I think, 40 or 60 megahertz to match Verizon on a nationwide scale. So I think they go after that. I still stand by my position. Some people don't agree. I still stand by my position that AT&T is best positioned and most flexible. As Verizon and T-Mobile are trying to get home internet and they're trying to get customers onto that, that's how they're looking to drive revenue and profits and higher ARPA. AT&T is already doing that. Fiber is growing. That's proven. So as they accelerate, they get into more households, fiber ads will likely grow. AT&T mentioned that on the call. They said if we could push more nationwide marketing, we would, but the product is not nationwide. So we can't market it as heavy. Wireless is going to get faster. It's only going to get faster. They've built most of this momentum off of their LTE network. 5G with C-band is going to only accelerate that capacity. And then there's HBO Max. HBO Max has endless opportunity possibilities. As they go global, perhaps they adapt that hybrid model permanently where blockbuster movies go on the platform day one. I know there's been articles out there that they may get rid of it or that they are getting rid of it, but I think they changed that because that's been the main success for the and driver for HBO Max. It hasn't been the other way around. People sign up to the platform to watch those blockbuster movies and then they get hooked onto the other shows. It hasn't been the other way around that they get on the platform for the Max originals and then they see the blockbuster movies. The main driver to people switching to that platform has been the blockbuster movies on their day one. I think based on the Kong versus Godzilla that it's kind of been successful in the movies and on the platform, I think the hybrid model will work. But again, that's up to AT&T how they sustain long-term success. Some are still not necessarily too confident that they can continue this over, maybe next year and the year after. But who knows? Verizon is stubborn. They look to be doing the premium play. So those customers will likely shed. And then T-Mobile, they may also lose some customers here and there. So there are definitely opportunities for AT&T to grow, especially as their fiber expands. They can get into the household with fiber. Then they have an opportunity to get people onto the wireless and the TV and HBO Max. And then vice versa too, with HBO Max, there's an opportunity to get people onto your services to offer HBO Max for free. So there's definitely several ways for AT&T to get there. I just think now they have the assets, they have the free cash flow to be as flexible to maneuver in ways that the others can't because they might be stuck. Verizon right now might be stuck because of all the money that they spent. They have no room. They have no wiggle room to lower prices because the stock will drop. If they keep prices the way they are and they don't compete, then customers leave and they're also in a bad spot. So just keep all of that in mind. I think AT&T is most flexible here. They just made almost $6 billion in free cash flow. It's up 50% year over year. They're making money, massive amounts of money. They're going to invest on gross capital $22 billion on CapEx back into the network, Warner Media, fiber. As long as they keep those investments flowing and it fits their model and their strategy, they're going to continue winning. I don't see them slowing down. I think the momentum continues into Q2, and we'll see what happens with the rest of the year and next year. So let me know what you think about this in the comment section down below. Look forward to reading your comments. If you have been on the channel or you're new to the channel and you have not yet liked, shared, subscribed, make sure you do so. Hit the notification bell so you are notified when I do upload content. Make sure to follow the social media outlets for more updates and interactions. This is Tyrone with Tech Life, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.